All right, welcome to Strong Man Nation podcast. This one's a little different. I've got some guests in the house. So I've got my brother Carey, who's got no microphone. He's just got to talk loud. I've got Kyle Strong, fellow elder at Grace City Church, dear friend. Adam James, fellow elder at Grace City Church, dear friend. And we have just all been through a pretty unique experience today, like the rest of the nation has been watching. We got our staff together. We put the inauguration up on the big screen in the community hall there at church. And I've been on text threads with a ton of buddies and friends, like we all have. I've coined it as the greatest 60 minutes of politics in American history in my lifetime that I've witnessed. It was remarkable in every way. So we've been talking about it all day and on X and on text threads with pastors and friends and buddies and just trying to. I mean, there was so much happening in that moment today. So we're recording this in the afternoon of the inauguration of President Donald Trump, number 47. Number 47. Woo! Pretty exciting. And here, the man from
let's go
from Florida,
fantastic,
Mar-a-Lago. And it's been a ton of fun. It just feels like Narnia's thawing. It feels like the world is healing. The sun's breaking, or whatever we said to Dawn.
Sunlight is pouring over the world.
Totally, man. So many great lines from today, and when we just had it's just so much to process. You're watching it, and you're like, my gosh, there's so much happening. I mean, like you and I were talking. You have the owner of the Washington Post, who single-handedly cast a massive cloud of suspicion over Donald Trump's first presidency with the Russian collusion stuff, and now he's sitting like 6 people down from the president, standing and clapping everything he says. Jeff Bezos. It's crazy. So, I mean, from Jeff Bezos to Mark Zuckerberg to Elon Musk, I mean, to Joe Rogan, like in the VIP box with Trump. It's just wild. And all the things you ripped off about the Reagan comparisons. You should pull up your phone and read those. Those are so crazy. So I thought it'd be fun just to kind of capture a raw podcast, our reflections, our responses. And again, we've all had busy days, and I've got city group starting here soon. We got to get to it. But what I did was I sat down before you guys got here about like 20 minutes ago. I wrote down my top 15 favorite inauguration moments.
Sweet.
And none of those are like the actual speech itself, because then like I have like favorite speech moments so we can get into favorite moments, and I'll just read them off, and then you just like first thing hits you, right? No, you can't look. You're reading. You can't. You're cheating here. So, and then just like I'll say the moment, and then like, oh my gosh, how'd you experience it, and we'll just do that, have a little fun. Sound good? And you can talk, I think, without a microphone. Just talk this way. Yeah, and you get that big deep voice anyway. So, okay, so there's no order here, no linear, just starting around.
Yep, let her rip.
Carey Underwood singing "America the Beautiful" a cappella.
Yeah.
Incredible.
What a moment.
Incredible.
Yep. Professional.
Totally.
Oh, 100%.
Total professional.
100%. What's that?
Sound man is fired.
Yeah.
Sound man is fired.
Sound man
Yeah,
is
the
fired.
blip. Yeah, it's
Our sound guy said it was so great to see things go wrong on a national level too.
Totally.
It's like
instantly vindicated.
Yeah,
for a Sunday morning.
It's not as easy as it looks to have everything come off without a hitch.
Oh, dude. Music starts, stops, and then like with every second, just more and more and more and more awkward. And people talking and chuckling. What's happening? That guy walks up. She has a little exchange. I got it. Starts singing.
I can sing it.
She suggested it.
Unbelievable.
She suggested
acapella?
I can sing it.
Yeah.
Just
classy, professional.
True
She handled it great.
Yep.
She
Crushed
handled it
it
great.
100%.
She really did.
Totally.
Yep.
People joined in singing. It like took what was probably gonna be the most awkward moment of the day to like top 5 moments of the day.
Right.
So she crushed it.
It would have been a bummer if it was outside. Better in the Capitol. Acoustics.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, it's one of my 15 points we get to here. I had the thought. I was talking with a pastor buddy who's in Nashville, Tennessee, and he pastor thread, and he pastors there in Nashville. Knows a lot of artists. And he's like, you guys have no idea the courage it took for her to be there.
Oh man.
As an artist, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was thinking like, dude, if Kamala would have been, we'd have like trashy Beyonce up there doing some nasty pole dance thing or whatever.
Twerking or something.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's like we got this classy.
For $1 million.
For $1 million
Yeah,
bucks.
Of our
Yeah.
taxpayer dollars.
Or 10
Oh,
million.
man. Great moment. Okay. Moment number 2. I don't know his name, but the black pastor moment.
Yeah, dude.
Detroit.
Quoting MLK.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just the whole thing. And then like the peace out where he like walks off
His
stage.
exit was amazing.
Yeah, dude.
His exit was
Yeah,
amazing.
dude. Like the handoff from like the charismatic black guy to like the just
Priest.
murder your soul.
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah.
Catholic priest who's like, on behalf of the blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, he was converting people to charismatic evangelicalism by the second.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
any thoughts
he was
on that
literally
moment?
saving souls. It seemed like, and the priest gets that, they're just hard whiplash. Hard whiplash.
Do you know that pastor guy?
No,
I've seen clips of him.
Yeah, I've seen
Okay.
clips of him. So there's a little bit of history there. He's in Detroit. I can't remember his name, but he's been railing against
Lorenzo.
Sewell.
Lorenzo
Okay, yeah.
Sewell.
Lorenzo.
Yeah, he's been railing.
Lorenzo,
against
if you're out there, my
the,
man.
Yeah, dude.
Well done.
Well
8 thumbs
done.
up from these white boys.
Yep.
Crushed it.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, we were getting up, started dancing. I mean, we were getting charismatic.
Oh, dude. And like statue of Martin Luther King in the room there or in the room next door.
Yeah.
On the day. I mean, just remarkable. My wife just finished a book, by the way, and you probably can't say this publicly, but he was not a good man. I mean, harlots in mistresses in every city. Wife knew it. Everyone knew it. Just when you consider what he said compared to how he lived,
I think
it's
Trump's going to
egregious.
expose some of that. The FBI documents are going to come out, and he talked about with not only JFK's assassination, but also MLK's assassination.
Yeah.
And there's FBI surveillance of things that he was involved in, and other pastors in the South that were involved in nefarious, egregious, immoral activity at the time.
Did you hear like those tapes just getting released of a woman being raped in a hotel, him coaching the guy through how to do it, just gross things.
it was
gross
bad.
things. So
There were
but
that black
Detroit
pastor,
woo!
Yeah, and
Nailed
he's been railing against the woke ideology and really encouraging his church, his congregation to support Trump because he saw Trump in his policies as being more consistent with Scripture than Kamala's.
Yeah,
so good dude, man.
No,
and I
solid
loved his
dude.
prayer.
Didn't you tell me someone said his website crashed?
Yeah,
5
I saw
minutes
that
after the prayer.
Right after people were looking him up and crashed his website because it was like, I love that guy. Check that guy out. And like,
Totally.
Yeah.
I made that
the website.
tribe increase. One of the as I was sitting there watching, I was like, look at all these normal people who are getting the microphone, and it's like Trump is like platforming the right people again, normal people, common sense, intelligent, productive builders. So I was kind of cool.
Yep.
Okay, moment number 3. I don't know if you guys saw this after the inauguration. A bunch of stuff had to take off. And we stayed. And the speech that Trump gave after the inauguration, that's my number 3.
Yeah.
And if you missed it, and I'll let me pause a little. I'll say this: I've been shocked how many people I've talked to today who've never watched an inauguration. So if you haven't watched an inauguration, you have to watch them. So I grew up. My mom homeschooled. We'd watch them every 4 years. So we watched all the inaugurations, that we can remember in school, and then we'd watch them with our kids. And you have to watch them. The historic moment of the peaceful transfer of power. I get emotional every year. I got emotional when Obama took office, and I did not vote for the man, and I did not and do not like the man at all. But you get emotional because this is an anomaly in human history. It's either been the death of a king or the bloodshed of thousands in revolution that changed power, and how we do it is different. And it's right at the heart of our democracy, and every American should tune in and watch it because it's something to behold.
Yep.
It really is.
Moving.
Yep.
It is moving.
It's moving.
100%. To see all of them up there,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's like, man.
It's an experiment in freedom and peace and the transfer of that power without
Nothing like it.
bloodshed is
Nothing like it.
remarkable. With ideologically opposed agendas that would radically shape the direction of the citizens, the people in the nation.
That's right.
I mean, it's the rhetoric has increased, as we know, in recent years, right? In terms of the language going in and around this, and to see the people there in one place doing that transfer is like,
knowing what they've said about each other,
Yeah.
knowing how differently they would lead.
wild.
It really is. And to watch the incoming president walk the outgoing president out to the outside, walk him to Marine 2. It's not Marine 1 anymore because he's no longer president.
Yeah.
He's just a dude. You know what I mean? And they put him in there and they fly him off. It's a thing. And one guy gets flown home, the other guy goes back and goes to work. You want to say something?
Evicted from his nursing home today.
Yeah, like I say, that's a tired dude.
yeah, that's right. One dude goes home where he's been, back home.
Yeah, totally. They woke him up, put him on a chopper,
Back
flew
to the basement.
Yeah, they're like, where are we going?
Back
home.
to the basement.
Back to
Still doesn't know.
the, yeah.
Where am I? Yeah. Okay. So my number 3 afterwards.
Yeah.
You got to watch the inauguration. Was the point I was making there? Afterwards, Trump goes down and he's giving a speech because couldn't do the outside thing, so it's in the new tourist center of the Capitol that they just built that we walked through last summer, and it's full of people, and he's like, I ask Vance, should we give him the A or the B or the C or the D or the F? And the F is hello, goodbye. I said, give them the A. They want the A.
He says, and I gave you the A+.
I gave you the A+. I love all of you. Oh my
this
gosh.
was a better speech than the one I gave upstairs.
But what he was saying there, if you didn't watch it, you got to watch it. He was like, here's all things I wanted to say. And had put in my speech, and lots of good people around me. They said, it's a beautiful speech. It's a unifying speech. And they wanted him to pull stuff out. I don't know. What do you think, Melania? And Melania gives her input. So he pulled the stuff out of the speech, and which his speech in the rotunda was crushed. I read through the transcript today. It was incredible. It was amazing. But when he talked about what he wanted to put in it, it was funny stuff. And it's just stream of consciousness, and it's like J6 stuff.
Right.
It's Biden corruption stuff. It's what he thinks about Biden pardoning people, his whole family. With 15 minutes left, executive powers. He went through like how. You got to watch it. I mean, there's stuff that he knows. And here's the thing about Trump. He says stuff, people are like, oh, that's ridiculous. And every time we find out that he was right.
He was right.
That's
right.
And so what he's saying about stuff, I mean, like
listen to him closely.
Oh, I offered Pelosi 10,000 soldiers, but she said no. Maybe she wanted it to happen.
And
J6,
that's her responsibility. She's responsible for the security of the Capitol.
So much stuff. But here's what hit me, and I know I'm talking a lot here. We'll get to more moments maybe you saw if you're.
They're probably getting set free right now as we talk. By the way, the J6 hostages.
Did it?
Or like
did he issue the executive order, or how'd that happen?
Well, I haven't seen it yet, but I thought. Watching him give the speech in the rotunda, I thought about it from a J6 hostage standpoint. I mean, it was moving for all of us for a number of compelling and right reasons. And imagine being one of those J6 hostages. You know what I mean?
Vindication.
It's freedom, freedom in a different sense, in a much different sense, in a very real sense. Incredible.
That's unbelievable.
What a day. What a day for a lot of people. Truly.
He made the comment in his speech. He said, we won the first time. And he said in the second time, I mean, he believes in his heart that they won, and it was taken and it was robbed for no different reasons. And then he said in deciding whether or not to run again, he said honestly, he said the election that we supposedly lost was a huge data point. He's like because I knew we'd won. He said had we lost, he's like that's the best poll you can take. Okay, leave. They don't want you. But I knew we'd won, so I knew we could win again. I mean, remarkable. I mean, remarkable. And thinking about, I was listening to his daughter talk about. She's like, when people think about my dad, they don't get it. Like typically you start local politics, mayor, commissioner, something, and you go to representative, then you maybe go to the state, and it's like literally zero political experience. His first campaign for the highest office in the world wins.
Yeah, dude.
In every way you look at it, it's a stunning story. And I'm just going crazy fast. And I read 3 Trump books over Christmas break, and I'll say more about that at the end. But he's a remarkable man. He is a remarkable man. But number 3, wrap up number 3. What hit me was as he's talking, I'm like, what is he doing? I mean, he's just this running stream of conscience, and it's just kind of over here and over there, and then it's like 10 minutes on the wall and how they designed the concrete foundation and the anti-climb thing on the top, and we had a rock climber and we had a this and that, but they could really climb, and then we're like talking about like the color of the shoes they were. I mean, it was like, what are we hearing, And but you're listening to him and you're like, this is why people love him. And this is a thought I had. Is like, nobody knows who Obama is. Nobody knows who Joe Biden is. What they present is a political avatar.
Facade.
Of what they think they want people to hear. Everyone knows exactly who Donald Trump is. For better or for worse, like him or I hate him, like you know who he is, and there's an authenticity there that's compelling.
That's right.
And that came out in that, my third favorite moment, in that after speech that was just Donald Trump unplugged.
Governor Abbott right there about the Texas stuff. Then talking about Melania's feet being sore from wearing the high heels and got to walk 500 yards over to it. And
he's like, you're the people I really wanted to talk to, not those guys up there.
Much better looking, younger crowd.
Yeah, that's right.
But that's the authentic stuff. To your point, right? It's transparent, it's authentic, and it's like he's consistently himself. And whatever, and that's why he could go on Rogan. And Kamala wouldn't touch it, right? Because he can talk intelligently, winsomely, normally,
That's
3 hours.
For 3 hours.
Yep.
And he's not putting on a show, so he can come off script and like, what do you want to talk about?
Yep.
Because he's being who he is.
Yep.
He's not calculated.
He's truly intelligent.
Yep.
His life experience and all the companies he's run, everything that he's done, he can actually just answer questions, shoot from the hip intelligently, and engage people in a very real way. And that people see right through that, right? As opposed to the whole political polish and the, it's just
it's weird because it's like
thick versus he has a repertoire.
Because he's talking, and I'm like, oh, I wish it was a little more polished. Like I'm having that thought, but I'm transfixed.
Yeah.
like if it was like if it was some Obama slick, you'd be like 2 minutes. Whatever. I don't even know what he's talking about. It's so coded. It's so filtered. It's so that you just don't know what it is. As opposed to like this guy's literally talking off the cuff, and he could say anything. Yeah. And it's kind of exciting.
It feels less political.
Yes.
Because of the business world, right? You're like, this is a real guy, gets real things done, builds things, right?
Yes.
So it doesn't have all that traditional political shine on it. That's just politics speak.
Yep.
Right? Which I think lends to the whole like, he's a man of the people, president of the people. He relates to the
100%.
middle America. It's like, this guy gets it because he can talk shop. He can put on the hard hat, walk around the thing, he can jump into McDonald's and like connect with real people coming through a drive-through.
Jump in the garbage
You
truck.
get in the garbage truck.
I mean, here's like the backward world that the liberal, progressive, woke, Democrats have created. Both of Joe Biden and Obama presented as normal, ordinary guys.
Yeah.
That was their whole thing.
Blue collar Joe.
Yeah, Joe, other people.
Yeah.
While simultaneously being radically extremists behind the scenes. Donald Trump comes off like an extremist, but is actually very ordinary, very normal, and can connect with normal Joe. And he loves normal Joe because he's employed hundreds of thousands of them.
This is who he's provided jobs for. So like the irony there is he actually has not come across like elite.
No.
Like an elitist.
No.
That's right.
Whereas the leftists and the Democrats, it's like the elitism is their gig.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. Well, dude, I mean, at Jimmy Carter's funeral, we talked about this. At Jimmy Carter's funeral, when Bush is there and Clinton's there, Obama's there, you're like, and this is hard for me to say because I love George W. Bush. He's been, at dinner tables like, who'd you like a living hero to see? my answer's always been George W. Bush. He's off my list now, man.
I know.
Yeah.
He's just disappointing, not finished well. I'm grateful for his leadership at 9/11. I'm grateful for his principled leadership through, in response, we're going to punch back, we're going to punch someone. I also have always appreciated how he refused to comment on a president. See, he had a measure of class.
Decency.
Yeah, he had a measure of class
across
that I
as,
appreciated. And now it's just like, oh, they're all the same.
It's regime.
They're all the same. They're all in bed together. They decide which political avatar do you want to present, but it's just there's no principle there at all. And like Trump is truly the outsider.
Yeah.
He's truly the people's.
Yep.
Yeah. So, okay, number 4, favorite moment. You need a microphone. This is lame. Favorite moment, Franklin Graham's prayer with his dad's statue in the room.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Come on.
Incredible.
It was moving.
Nailed it.
Yep. And dude, he didn't hold back. I mean, he if you were listening, it's like he just like the people over his left shoulder, he just, condemned. He just libeled. He just like, God, thank you for rescuing us from this darkness.
Yeah.
However he said it, you know what I mean?
I need to go back. I need to go back and watch it again.
It was an indictment.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
His prayer was an indictment.
Yep.
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 Yeah, it was really good, and just crystal clear on Jesus Christ as King, Lord, Savior.
My Savior, our Redeemer, King of Kings, Lord of Lords.
Yeah. He's Billy Graham's son, and he's Billy Graham's son.
Oh,
yeah, he handled that moment perfect. I mean, he just did great.
Yeah, no one prayed to a female god the whole time. Even the Catholic and the Jewish. I mean, I was like, hey, this felt like 30 years ago. This felt like America 30 years ago. This felt like Normalville. Right. We weren't platforming weirdos and going to the fringe extremes and praying to like some female god in the sky. Mother Earth garbage. Yeah, it was. And hearing that Graham voice, at an inauguration, I was like, dude, we're in a moment right now.
Yeah.
We're in a moment.
Yep.
Dude, the irony is Trump's been slandered and slandered and slandered as the dirty guy. Did you give me that book for Christmas or Sharon got for me? All the Presidents? It's just like a chapter per president, and you're hard pressed to count on one hand presidents that didn't have mistresses stashed everywhere, in and out of the White House, total tramps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just dirty, dirty. And, I mean, obviously Trump's had his background stuff, but I think he's a new man. I think there's a good potential. He's filled with the Spirit, and he's growing. He's becoming a good man, faithful Melania, as they're married here last few years. And I got thinking, the irony is Trump might be the cleanest of all of them. You know what I mean? As far as I'm not talking before God. I'm just like corruption and underhanded deals. Like that guy's like the most vetted dude in the planet.
Yeah.
What do you say? Like sued or investigate more more than Al Capone or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like they just can't get anything because it's like he has integrity.
Subpoenaed every day. Subpoenaed every single day. Well, part of it is like he's prepared for the moment. I think God prepared him for this moment. His power was not new to him. And so some people, they get power, they get fame, temptations come, and that's new territory, and you're caught off guard. Maybe that is, maybe that isn't. But for him, right,
that's a great point.
He's been in positions of great authority and power, even in the business world, and in the eye of entertainment, with all of his success and The Apprentice and all of that, right? And so he's really been famous and has, in some ways, maybe dealt with the temptations that come with fame and power.
Well, no, he stepped in those holes.
And
those trappings that comes with that. Whoops, recovered, and now he's past it.
It doesn't have the allure. It's not new to him.
Dude, that's a great point. I never thought of it that way. These 3 books I alluded to, I read over Christmas. Super fascinating. And what hit me as I read them was like he is a man of integrity in that he is who he is. And you've heard it from people around him close by. They're like, nothing about any of this surprises us. Right. This is who he is and what he's done since he was a kid. He wins. He does the impossible. He dreams big. And so you're like, oh, yeah, whatever. And then you go back and you're reading The Art of the Deal, or you're reading Get It Done, or you're reading Don't Back Down, or you're reading A Case for Trump. And you're realizing, like, the dude, was wheeling and dealing on 320 acres in West Manhattan as the last undeveloped piece in New York City for $150 million over a course of 4 years with the city of New York, negotiating to where they're going to put their convention center, and closes the deal. He's 27.
That's heady.
He's 27.
That's some metal.
Yeah, he's been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
He's known Chuck Schumer for 30 years. He's known Nancy Pelosi 30 years. He's been wheeling and dealing with global leaders for 35, 40 years in the business realm.
With their regulations and the bureaucracy and the system and the machine. And
he knows the game better than they do. So it's just, you realize like he's been doing this for as long as I've been alive. You know what I mean? And so like people that know him are like, yeah, of course he's going to buy Greenland and take back the Panama Canal and rename the Gulf of America what it should be.
Gulf of America.
And just like, annexing Canada because they're losers and can't get their act together politically. It's like, they're like, yeah, of course he would do that. Because he's been doing that. He's been putting impossible deals together for his whole life. So in to your point, the prepared, groomed, Esther-like
raised
up for such a moment as this. I mean, Donald Trump.
You mentioned that, Franklin Graham's prayer in the moment that, and it reminded me of something that the Detroit pastor said that we skipped over real quick, and that is he opened his prayer, I think, talked about a millimeter miracle.
What a great
line. There's a sense at which I think Trump has been raised up and is making incredible declarations that align with the common grace of God. Right. I mean, the declaration of other things there, but in another sense, not only raised up and prepared with his life experience, but then also protected in spirit, which is kind of the obvious with the failed assassination attempts. But a millimeter miracle. That was a great line from
that was a great line.
Detroit pastor.
That was very great. Okay. Favorite moment number 5. I don't know how to say it. There was just no shout out to weirdness. When he's like whatever tribe, creed, race you come from. It's like in the past, how many years we get subjected to tribe, race, creed, gender, identity expression,
orientation,
blah 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 bitty blah crappity blah, and it was like that was all gone. It was just the simple stuff. Two genders. Yeah.
There was a phrase in his speech. It was, I think he called it a common sense revolution, or revolution of common sense.
Common sense revolution.
Yeah, I forget how he said it.
Anyway, but to your point, it's like main things, plain things, main things. We're not doing all this social experiment stuff anymore. That day's over. There's two genders.
That's right.
Male, female. The revolution of common sense.
Speaking of that, he
that's refreshing.
Yeah. He said I have his speech here. To your point, he says I I will end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life. We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based.
That's fantastic.
Here. We need drinks in this podcast.
We do.
Yeah. So the man from Mar-a-Lago.
From now Florida.
As of today, it is henceforth. I love that.
Yeah.
It will henceforth be the policy, official policy of the United States government, that there are only two genders, male and female.
Praise be to God.
Praise be to God.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, we are in this weird
is
moment in history where God's like, oh, the prophets won't speak up, the priests won't do their job. I'll speak through jackasses.
Yeah.
That's
right.
I'll raise up
good.
donkeys.
Yeah.
I'm talking biblically here, not politically. I'm like, I will get my word out.
Yeah.
And I'll use. I mean, when Joe Rogan talks more about Jesus than most pastors in any given week, dude, we are in strange times.
We are.
Yep.
It is wild.
That happening along with the election of Trump, like all of those things are connected to God's grace and kindness to us as a nation.
Absolutely.
Right? Those things aren't happening necessarily independently of each other, even though they can appear that they are. But there's a moment of refreshing, a re-airing of truth.
That's right.
Of common sense,
Yep.
and of created order being recognized, reality being recognized. And it's
it
totally
is sweet.
refreshing.
Yep. To return to the sky is indeed blue.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Amen.
awesome.
That was number 7. U.S. government only recognizing two genders. Number 8. Big Mike didn't show.
That's right. That's right.
Did you see that?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Can you imagine?
That's amazing.
What's your proof that you think she's a man?
Oh, I don't know. Well, I don't want it.
That last picture that got posted?
Yeah, bro. There's a lot of weird pictures, man, and a lot of weird videos, things shaking and jiggling where they shouldn't be shaking and jiggling. It's weird. It's weird. No, dude, but I mean, like, just how arrogant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we show up and take our licks when you win.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Any excuse given?
Yeah. She said she couldn't stand to be in the presence of someone being sworn into office who is fundamentally against democracy.
Wow.
Really? So it was
Wow.
it was a protest?
Yeah.
Oh, it was 100% protest, bro.
Yeah.
It wasn't like she's sick.
Wow.
No. Michelle Obama made a political statement to not show
I
up
had
at the
not heard that.
inauguration of Donald Trump
Shameful.
as a protest.
Yeah.
Shameful.
Yeah, it just
In the name of democracy, being as anti-democratic as you can get with the duly elected president
Totally.
of our
Isn't that
nation.
I
amazing?
refuse to participate in the
Yeah.
peaceful transfer of power in the name of democracy.
What an anti-democratic protest in the name of democracy, which again is just hypocrisy, lies.
Yeah,
Garbage.
just true colors.
Garbage.
Yep.
True colors showing up.
Terrible.
So,
Childish.
yeah.
Wow.
I also heard a rumor.
And imagine that dinner time conversation between
Oh.
Obama.
Yeah,
and
dude.
Big Mike.
Yeah, dude, making him walk up.
That is
Dude,
That's-
it was lame. It's like George and Laura,
Yeah.
Bill and Hill. Think of Hillary. I mean, honestly, I
I was
I'm
surprised to see
I'm
her
like,
sitting there.
Hey, there's
Yeah.
some class. I mean, not,
Yep.
I don't want
Yeah.
to call it class, but I'm like, she's
was there.
had to sit through
Two of them.
she has to sit through 2 of them.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton has to live knowing that she's the one
Yeah.
that gave America Donald Trump.
There's
Yeah.
some class. Yeah, class
Yeah.
is in session. Take notes. Winner, loser. That's what I'm saying.
But I mean, I'm like, hey, like you showed up, respect.
Yeah, totally. That much I give her.
Yeah, just her thinking that she deserves to be president. It's not just 2 that she sat through. She sat through Obama's too, right? Obama's, then Trump, and now again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so Bill and Hillary walk out, George and Laura walk out, Joe and Dr. Jill walk out,
Yes.
and then Obama by himself. Weak.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
just weak.
Yep.
But it made my top 15.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It made
it
your
did.
top 15
That's a good one.
Okay.
Notable.
Okay, on that then, number 8 or number 9, where we're at, was just Melania Trump. Her outfit,
Classy.
her hat.
Yeah, the hat.
I mean, she's just next level.
Yeah.
She's next level class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack.
Did you see Trump try to lean in, give her a kiss when he came out? Couldn't get there. Her
Yeah,
hat just
yeah.
blocked her, so he's like,
Yeah, totally. The little air
Yeah.
kiss.
Yeah,
I was like,
absolutely. He tried.
As soon as he started, I was
He
like,
tried.
not gonna happen, buddy.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
even try it. He
Yeah,
kept kind of
don't even
moving
try.
in there, and she was trying to raise the hat up, but it didn't work.
yeah.
But no, like high collar.
Yes.
Come a long way from her. From her bikini Playboy photo shoot on the
Wow.
wing of the Trump
Yeah.
747.
Wow.
About 20 years ago.
Yeah.
We've seen those.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have. Well, I mean, don't Google it, but I mean, like, literally, it's weird. It's like there's Melania Trump in a bikini on the wing of his plane.
Yeah.
Which was more where he was then.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's less of that guy now.
Well, that's where he was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, he's grown.
He was the playboy.
He
I mean,
totally was a playboy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the definition.
I'm
of
just
that.
saying it's weird. There's a lot of it's the social. It's a cultural moment. It's like this is a crazy cultural moment we're sitting right now. Think about the fact that the vice president and the president, both married. Now I might get this wrong. Isn't JD's wife? Is she an immigrant? Was she born in India or no?
I think her parents were, I believe. I think she might have been born in the States.
Okay, because Melania was born Eastern Europe, right?
Yes.
And so isn't it crazy? Like the two white racist guys are the guys that married other races, literally immigrants.
Immigration is a central part of their life story because of who they're married to.
Totally.
They're pro-immigration. That's how they got their wives, whether directly or indirectly, right? So they're
100%.
They're pro-immigration, legal immigration, and dignifying people who want to come to this country for the right reasons.
Right.
To take advantage of opportunities, which fits right in with MAGA.
Dude.
Make America great again. And it's a great land for all people. That's why they want to come here.
That's right.
But come here legally, dignify the process, learn about this, and respect the foundation that we're built on.
That's right.
Come on in.
Amen.
Right?
It was so good.
But this
right
invasion
there.
from the southern border, my gosh.
Dude, the president's wife.
It's over today.
Eastern European immigrant. Like, talk about the American story. The vice president's wife's parents, immigrants from India or whatever.
Yep.
And then the vice president's mom.
Right.
Do you see that moment?
Yep.
When she came up, because like, who is that? Who is that short, frumpy little, very excitable gal with the wild blonde hair and the red, very bright red? And I was like, I bet that's his mom. I looked her up and like
JD's mom,
JD Vance's mom, who has had a very hard life.
I'm reading Hillbilly Elegy right now. I've not read it. I know I'm late to the party there. It's been around for a while, but now that I've got JD's voice in my head, reading through it, the story.
Oh, dude.
I mean,
it's
coming
an incredible
from
story.
Appalachia, Kentucky to Ohio, and like what he's overcome, what they as a family have gone through to reach even the vice presidency.
Yeah.
No, that whole picture.
What an
It
accomplishment
should not be
for
overlooked. I mean, the amount of
JD.
like grace and forgiveness he's extended to his mom.
Yes.
Yes.
It's really remarkable. So beyond just her being present there, it's like considering his upbringing.
Yes.
He says he was raised by his grandma. Mom wasn't in the picture. It's like
abandoned.
I mean, we've pastored people through broken home situations, and so it's another tell of the kind of character that JD Vance has.
Yeah.
You know, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful redemption story.
Yeah. And the upward mobility, the opportunity to still rise and to pursue your dreams and merit-based achievement. It's
Dude, we watched the
wonderful.
American story today.
yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, dude.
Just unfold a whole new chapter.
Totally.
Yep.
Truly.
Yep.
Okay, number 10, and my son pointed this out. Trump's blue and red tie. He always wears a solid tie.
Yeah.
And he always wears a red tie.
observation.
Always wears a red tie.
Okay.
Yes.
And today he had a blue and red tie. And my son pointed out, my wife said too, is because he's a president for the people.
There you go.
For all the people.
And he said he wanted to be a unifier.
He wants to be unified. And so here's the thing. You read these books, bro. He's been bringing people together that couldn't get a deal done for 45 years.
That's right.
That's why he cuts deals.
Yeah.
Because people like him.
Yeah.
People like, he's a bombastic whatever, and then they go meet with him, and then the next meeting is like, we've come to a really good deal, we're excited about it. I mean, think about Trudeau. Oh, he's Hitler. And then go have lunch and like, we had a great conversation. I look forward to working with the Trump administration. I mean, that's the experience everybody has. He does bring people together.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's something about how he genuinely wants people to win.
Yep.
He wants all people to have a good experience.
Yep.
He wants people to be promoted. Again, like people are like, he's a narcissist. He's not even close to a narcissist. No. Narcissists don't platform smarter people than them.
That's right.
Narcissists don't bring people up and say and keep giving the mic away like he did at his victory speech. And,
That's right.
and so it's like, no, he loves to see people dream big and succeed at whatever level they succeed at. He genuinely loves seeing people succeed.
Yeah.
I mean, he is the American story.
And he takes time to honor those people. In all of these speeches, he's thanking people and stand up. They're doing such a great job. He's none of us know that person, and he's acknowledging them, honoring them, giving thanks, thanking them for their hard work. I mean, he's platforming a lot of people all the time. He elevates others around him and gives people opportunity to succeed and achieve things. And if you do the job, you do a great job, he'll promote you, elevate you, or keep you in that position, and like he'll, so
Merit based.
he elevates others.
Yep.
For
Very
sure.
secure in himself. There's there's just not an ounce of fear of man in it that you see. And so he builds this coalition of Tulsi Gabbard, RFK, Vivek Ramaswamy, Elon Musk, highly intelligent, like powerful people in their own right. And he's like, hey, I want to hear your ideas. Cool story real quick. You remember the Teamsters Union poll that came out? And it was like 60% of the Teamsters unions obviously traditionally always go Democrat.
Yeah.
And so the largest the largest union in the United States came out, and their internal poll, their members, 60+% were going Trump. And it was the first time in decades that this Teamsters union didn't endorse a Democrat. And so the president of that Teamsters union, first name Sean, he was on Tucker Carlson. He tells this wonderful story. Again, this is getting to Trump's his own sense of security and his identity and wanting to hear great ideas.
Yeah.
So they invite Sean, who's the president of the largest union in the United States. They invite him out to speak at the RNC last summer.
Yeah.
And I remember that's the guy who spoke at the RNC, right?
Yeah. And he speaks at the RNC, and now the RNC folks, the handlers, they're reading his speech ahead of time. They're like, oh, you got to cut this out. This isn't going to be, this isn't going to work for us. It's not going to be part of our platform. And so finally gets a hold of Trump. He's like, I'm not cutting crap out. This guy's from Boston, in like old Boston. So you got to listen to him. He's got a great accent, but he's just kind of that tough Boston, going down to the pot kind of guy.
Yeah.
But he gets on the horn with Trump, and he's like, hey, I'm not going to speak if I can't say what I want to say. And Trump goes, say what you want to say.
Yeah.
So for the first time in a long time,
Yeah.
you had a president of a Teamsters union get up at the RNC where he could say whatever he wanted to say.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
It's remarkable.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. And Trump was like unafraid of what the consequences or the fallout might be because he's president for the people.
That's right. And he's truly, like in the books I read, and these books are like published like 1987.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, so that's what is that? What's that? 30? How many years is that? That's 30 years ago. And
Almost
people were asking him
almost
then.
40.
Yeah, people were asking him then. You want to be president? He's like, well, I'm maybe. All the viral clips people have seen of him answering that question. But he's not writing the book necessarily like, hey, this is going to be my political position in 30 years. He's just telling how he does life, and it's like he makes decisions by asking as many people as he can get his hands on what they think, and he gathers all that data. I mean, he's objectively brilliant. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so he's like, guys get in trouble because he said they would hire a consulting firm to come in and do a study if a hotel would work here. He's like, so think about that. They're flying into a city they don't know. They're getting paid, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 to stay in really nice hotels, ask some questions, put a little report together, hand it to a guy, he reads it, makes a decision. He's like, that guy doesn't know anything after that report. I go down, I walk the streets, I talk to shop owners, I talk to neighbors, and he's like walking the grounds of the place where he's like getting real time intel, and so he's practiced, like you said, like there's just not an ounce of, and people would think this is stupid, but there's a measure of humility in him, where he's like, I want to know what you think because you might see something I don't see, and he's always taking in new data and changing his perspective. I hadn't thought of that. Well, that's really good. An egotistical driven narcissist.
Right. That's right.
I don't take in any new information. I see all. I know all.
Right.
And that's just not him. He's like,
stay up in the glass box.
Yeah.
And make
He's
the
like,
calls.
I've always assumed there's things I don't know and things I don't see until I ask questions and ask people. Like I'm not seeing the full picture. Yeah. So there's like a built-in kind of a, I don't know what you'd call it, but I don't know if it's like a blue collar thing because people are like, oh, Silver Spoon guy. His dad owned a couple dump apartments in the Bronx.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't come from his dad wasn't a billionaire. He came from a hardworking, blue collar class, and I think that has given him a measure of humility that's magnetic, that's attractive to the average person.
And his dad was generous to the average Joe.
Yes.
As there's those stories that have come out through this campaign cycle where Fred Trump, you hear about what he's done for people, and so he saw that modeled in his dad. You know who I think has that quality, real quick here, that Trump has in that is Elon Musk.
Yeah.
He goes down to the floor, talks to the engineers, knows the real situation, doesn't just do, these crazy, brilliant calculations up over wherever. He's down there looking at it, talking to the people that are fixing the problem at the point of, so there's something to that. That's good management.
That's right.
That's good leadership.
Right.
Yeah. Boots on the ground. And that's where you cut out a lot of the waste because it's like, no, what's the real problem? Do we really need this? Why isn't that working? He wants to understand the actual situation because they're interested in results.
Solving problems.
Truth.
That's right.
Truth matters. I want to deal with reality.
Production.
Because I want results. Because I want the best thing for the customer, for my company, for my employees. if I can help architect a win-win-win for society
Think how
at large,
good we'll all feel if we launch a rocket.
yeah.
Well, it's going to be great.
There's an altruistic impulse in the good of doing good for yourself and building a company and providing jobs and doing good for your employee, and also caring about society, caring about your country, your nation. I mean, we see Trump is patriotic. Elon's patriotic.
Yeah.
These guys want to make things better for everyone.
Dude, when you watch
And
Trump,
I appreciate that about them.
100%. When you watch Trump in these ceremonies about Trump being patriotic, he often looks very grim. But I was watching an interview with him, and he's like, I'm not grim. I'm serious. This is a sacred moment. This is a sacred assembly, a sacred a ceremony that we've done for hundreds of years. I mean, like he has a true
Values
sense
that.
of somberness, and we're like, hey, I'm not just rolling in here, flippantly expecting that presuming I deserve this as an elite. Like, no, I'm humbled to be here.
Yeah.
And like and you get that aura off him. Do you remember you talking about maybe you? I thought it was you how like. Obama is insecure, and so he goes and gets someone a little dumber to make him look good in Biden. And then Biden shows up and is insecure and wants to get someone a little dumber, makes him look good, so he gets Kamala. Kamala shows up and is insecure and wants to look good, so gets him a little dumber than him. So Kamala ends up grabbing like the worst governor in the history of our nation,
Goofball.
who's putting tampons in boys' bathrooms in high school and names him as her running mate because there's an insecurity there. I need the vice president to make me look smarter and better by being lesser than me. And like such a telling sign. And Obama's like, or Trump's like, I want Elon. I want RFK. I want JD. He's looking for the smartest guys
Brilliant
he can find.
people.
Yeah. So it's a sign of, again, the humility and the lack of insecurity that you're talking about.
That's a great
absolutely.
point.
I literally just told your whole thing. So
That's a great observation.
That was all Kyle's material.
Great recap.
So
Thank you
walk
for
us
that.
through, what was that, Kyle?
Yeah. Exactly that same.
That's a great observation.
That was all Kyle's material. For the
Thank
way.
you, Kyle.
Okay, number 11 was the two wives, both immigrants or first generation immigrant. And we already talked about that. Number 12, I mentioned this, his authenticity. Number 13, the inauguration, the Rotunda.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That was special.
It was special.
That was special. There was something personal about it, intimate about it. You know, there's obviously something impressive with the National Mall being full of people and just the scale of American might and whatever. But man, it was cool to be, and it made me think like they talk about the Capitol as a people's house, and it used to be much more accessible to the average American citizen. You know, there was no Secret Service. Presidents would go for walks and talk to people. You could make an appointment and see the president. Of course, we're way past that. But to take the inauguration back truly into the people's house, and it hit me. It's like I've stood in that room. Like last summer ago with Vector. We take our Vector every year. Carey takes them out there, and Apple and Kyle. I was standing in that room, looking at those pictures, looking at those statues, and where they had the luncheon, I was in that room, and it's like, it's because it's the people's house. It's super cool. So that was meaningful for me, and for the many people who've been there. If you haven't been in Washington D.C., you have to go at least once in your life. You've got to go. It truly is remarkable. So that was a highlight for me.
It was awesome. Who were the? Because I know that if you've been there, you know there's the different statues in terms of the placement of that. Who were the statues that were the one where they do we know in terms of how they staged it?
There was on either side of them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was just curious. I didn't notice it. I'll have to look at that. Okay, Jefferson.
I saw MLK, and then Billy Graham, but that was in the luncheon room.
Okay.
I don't know.
I was curious, because you have all the different choices of where you would do that in terms of Well,
they framed it where that door comes in or whatever, from. But even the outside, it's like we walk through those corridors. We walk through those. I recognize that stairway. I recognize that pillar. It's like this is wild.
Pan to that ceiling.
Oh, it's incredible.
It's beautiful.
Number 14. Oh, just the phenomenon of the peaceful transfer of power. Yeah, we talked about that. And then number 15, my favorite moment, and we talked about this too, was just the crowd. Joe Rogan, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, J.D. Vance's redneck mom. It was just an eclectic crowd. I mean, to look down the row and see Elon, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Joe Rogan. I was like, this is weird. This is a cultural moment. Yeah, totally.
The shifting landscape of media in the last 4 years stands out to me in light of that observation. That's the first thing. And honestly, the second thing, in light of what all he went through, even from some of those people being involved over those last 4 years, of truly the greatest political comeback.
That's right.
In the history of American politics.
Without question. And
what he overcame and endured and fought back from after losing that election and everything that he faced, all the media attacks, all the lawfare, to turn and to stay moving forward, to know his principles, and to really believe he can help this country and have the wherewithal to. Yeah, I mean, the great that to me was like,
and he's not
the greatest
vindictive.
political comeback.
I mean, he'll destroy an opponent. Like if you're trying to beat me, like and he says I'd stop at. He says in a book, I'd stop at nothing. I'll stop short of breaking the law, but anything above that line is all on the table for me to beat you. But after I beat you, it's like beer and darts. And so I'm like, there's no way that Jeff Bezos running the Washington Post that smeared my name with bald-faced lies for how many years? There's no way he's coming to my birthday party.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Or Mark Weasel Zuckerberger. Are you kidding me? Who all of a sudden is like the free speech champion because it's the flavor of the cultural menu? It's like, dude.
Because he took a karate class. Now he understands what masculinity is.
Dude. He's hanging around with, for sure, dude.
Great. He's like, I appreciate it now.
Got a little testosterone flowing. Hung out with some jiu-jitsu guys and probably had...
Avid bow hunter.
Yeah.
That's right.
What's the name of your bow?
Hey, I don't mind if he goes based. Come on over, bro. It's great.
Yeah. We're referencing the Joe Rogan interview with Mark Zuckerberg. That was very, very funny.
Yeah.
It's been a good day. Thanks be to God. Man, it's just my heart is lighter. I'm like, it sounds super cheesy, but I'm like, Levi's life just got better.
Yep.
My kid's life just got better. Literally, when we started recording this podcast, he had just signed an executive order to freeze all federal government hiring until they can figure out what the heck we're even doing.
That's right.
And it's like literally, I think that means like, the Forest Service can't hire anybody out here.
Right.
It's just like, no more spending.
Hold on until we can
Stop,
understand
until we can
what's
figure
going
out what's
on.
happening.
Yep.
And then the second, what was the other freeze? No more regulations.
Yep.
I mean, like that alone right there. I was just like,
No movements by the bureaucracy, the bureaucratic machine, until we can ascertain what's going on, gain control of the systems of government, and understand the objectives behind everything we're doing, everyone we're hiring, and
Unbelievable.
The ERS. We didn't talk about the External
External
Revenue Service.
Revenue
By the way,
Let's go.
Woo! I mean.
Such a
Mr.
Trump
CPA
idea.
here, accountant. We know the IRS.
I love that.
What's your
about
thought
the
on
ERS?
Talk to us
ERS?
about it.
Down with the IRS.
You got any hot takes on the ERS?
It's just it's classic Trump, right? He just wants to. He's America first, which is what you always need and want in a president. Flat out.
Yeah.
We don't need you to be a lover to the world.
Yeah.
We need you to be a leader of the world and a leader of the United States. And so he's like, how about we tamp down on some of the IRS going after all of these hardworking citizens, and how about instead we go after all the countries that have been bilking us for decades?
Totally.
Dude.
Love it. Through tariffs, and it's like fantastic.
in a speech like, tariffs is the greatest word in the English language, and then the progressives, they throw back at me, what about religion and God and love? And I say, okay, you're right.
Yeah.
So God should probably number 1, religion number 2, love, we'll make love number 3. And number 4, tariffs. What a great word. Oh my God, dude, he's put fun back into politics.
That's amazing.
Honestly, I mean, and like he wanted to go into like TV producing. He's got that production flair, and
great sense of humor.
Gets YMCA guys up there dancing on the stage, and dude,
he's a pretty self-aware man.
Yeah.
And from the standpoint of knowing what people are going to enjoy, what works well. I mean, the way he pulls off his rallies. I mean, that's a whole nother point about the Trump machine from the political standpoint of his comeback. He has utilized political rallies more effectively than anyone I've ever seen in my lifetime or historically read about.
No question.
The amount of miles he's put on, the crowds he's gathered, the way he can engage with crowds, design moments that connect with people and what they want and what the country needs, and feel good moments in a good way of raising up the patriotic spirit in America, and just think this guy's going to get to throw the party for us for these next couple of years of the 250th birthday.
Dude, for such a time as this,
to produce,
the man is a modern day Esther.
His skill set and ability to create moments.
A party.
To produce a national party.
Mar-a-Lago was one big party. I mean, like my Twitter feed is just full like, another party at Mar-a-Lago, another concert, another. This is the guy loves a party, and to your point, like today, like was it at the Capitol One or whatever arena it was?
Yeah.
20,000
Capitol
people,
One.
a desk there, presidential seal. He's going to sign a bunch of executive orders in front of, in a room full of the people of our country, explaining to them what he's doing. It's like, why hasn't that been done before? You're like, that's amazing. That's such a great idea.
They're all the ones who traveled there to be outside but weren't able to.
Yeah, it's just such a great idea.
Yep.
He cares for people.
And whether or safety, I'm grateful because honestly, the fact that he made it to this day.
That's right.
It's incredible.
I thought it was a security play. I was like, but the more like I've listened to it, it's like massive cold snap blizzard, and I'm like, oh, it was the hand of God, because I don't know if he would have done it himself.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know.
good.
I got a pastor buddy in California who was like the hand of God, sent me weather, and it's like, I mean, look, you see the football games on Sunday. I mean,
The
like
temperatures,
blackout, whiteout,
Yeah.
snowfall, temperature like dangerously low. I mean, like shutting things down.
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure if it was a safety first thing. I genuinely think it was a hand of God moving that dude inside, because it's tough to get a drone into the Capitol dome.
Yeah, the end result
You know
was a more controllable environment from a security standpoint.
Yep.
Which I'm grateful for.
Yeah, man.
And want to continue to pray for his protection.
Yes, that's right.
Yep. As a churchman, it is good to have a friend in the White House again.
That's right.
Yeah.
And as a churchman, it's like, we just can't forget what was happening under the Biden administration. These
That's
kind of
right.
Orwellian controls
Yes.
to like censor speech, right? Take away First Amendment rights. Even in our state, telling us stay home, don't gather, all these kinds of
Don't
things.
sing.
And Trump exhibited it today, just like we will be a country under God.
That's right.
We will believe that there are
Not
two
forget
genders.
God. Yep.
Yep.
It is just elevating to a place of primacy the things of God.
That's right.
right.
It's good to have a friend in the White House
Yeah.
again.
And you can argue I want, is he saved or not saved? Like, I'm not sure I care. Here's what I know. He's a man of peace.
That's right.
God is using
He's a
him
man of peace to the church.
to restore. I just read in Proverbs today, it's an abomination to acquit the guilty and condemn the innocent.
That's
That's
right.
right.
And I think of some of these last acts of Biden's administration, what happened over the last 4 years.
That's right.
Abomination.
And it's right in the context, not far away from the verse that says righteousness exalts a nation.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. Well, the restoration of created order and design, even in areas like gender and sexuality. I mean, that is a clear stand for righteousness.
Yep.
That honors God and is good for people, all people everywhere.
That's
so
right.
Yeah.
it's
That's right.
this was a gift from the Lord. This was the hand of God
Yep.
in a lot of different ways. I
Yep.
think you're seeing that on display. And I think the people of God should give thanks.
Amen.
Be grateful.
Amen.
Good word.
It's a great day. Well, thanks, man, for joining me on the Strongman Nation podcast today. It's been a great day. If you're listening and you've never watched Inauguration, man, circle up your kids, grab YouTube, the replay, and watch it. I mean, you can watch from about the introduction of the presidents to the end of it in about an hour, and it's a huge part of our life here in America. It's a huge part of understanding how it works, and to witness the peaceful transfer of power every 4 years has been a remarkable experience for me. Got to give that to your kids, and thanks be to God we got through without nothing blown up today. I mean, just so for all the LEO people and military
Thank
kept
you.
us safe.
Yep.
Thank you for what you did. Like 5,000 LEOs
Wow.
landed in D.C. to help pull off this thing. So thank you to all those men and women for keeping us safe. And here we are. Pray God's blessing and safety upon President Trump in the next 4 years, and it's going to be fun.
Feels good to say, doesn't it?
Oh, incredible. Woo!
Sunlight pouring over the world.
there you
Sunlight
go.
pouring over the world.
Yeah.
The golden era begins
Has
today.
begun.
Yeah, that's right. Man, God bless. Thanks for listening. Take care. Hey everyone, Pastor Josh here. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to rate the podcast, review, follow, and share. And if you want to support Stronger Man Nation, you can go to strongermannation.com/give to help keep unwoke, uncensored, straight talk Bible teaching coming to you for free.